University of Lagos, Obafemi Awolowo University, you can't go there unless you are 16. So, whereas 18 is the issue, but Unilag was an OAU will not accept anybody who is not 16. But what some of you admit even 10. You will see later. We need to assist the university. Now look at this case. Underage admission. A case of a university in Germany. A candidate, I have it. The Vice Chancellor, you are here. I've seen you twice. I don't want to mention your name. A candidate applied for masters at a university in Germany. She then applied for scholarship under Erasmus Mundus program. You know, it's a European Union program. She applied for postgraduate scholarship. The body found it strange that the candidate date of birth is 2007. And by her passport, she started studying at a university in Nigeria when she was 12. The selection committee contacted Nigeria to confirm if indeed the candidate studied at a university. I made all this available to the Honorable Minister of Education day before yesterday. The university and graduated at the age of 15 in Nigeria, and the European Union was asking us whether this is possible to graduate such a person at that young age. And you know the implication. I can bet it with you, with the next 2-3 years, they will tighten the issue. All the graduates of Nigerian university system will have to suffer one humiliation or the other as a result of this. JAMB checked the record, and we found out that we never admitted the candidate because to us, she was underage. But the university admitted the person, registered the person. While I was not answering this because I was embarrassed, I didn't know what to write. The Vice Chancellor, I believe, ignorantly replied. And the Vice Chancellor confirmed that, yes, it went to our university, but I was not the VC at that time. So, this is the letter that came from Erasmus to show you. And you can see, it says, she provided the statement of result from your university stating that you received a BSc degree in computer science. However, the applicant date of birth is this. According to her passport, she was 12. To start university in Nigeria, we would like to confirm that she did study in your university, and it was possible to do so in such a young age. Look at the damage we are making to national image, yes. A global survey was recently done. I have the privilege of representing the Honorable Minister at that place. And the survey was for age 15. And when they were describing age 15, they said age 15 means those people who have undergone 9 years of basic education, which is end of JSS. How do we present that of Nigeria? When all the others from all over the world, age 15 was end of JSS, whereas our own, many of them were in the university. So you can see that we are not living with reality of what is going on. I'm a Yoruba man. Everybody will say, "Gbogbo ọmọ ni jagun lójú ìyá ẹ̀." So you always say, my child is better. It's exceptional. How many exceptional do you have? How then can Nigeria defend this? We must protect the image of this country. Yes. Corrupt admission into tertiary institution in Nigeria. You know what is happening in UNN? You know what happened at the University of Abuja, Imo State University, Kwara State University, Delta State University, and recently, you know what's happening? No, sorry, not Delta, we made mistake. What do you call that one? Ambrose Ali. Sorry, Delta State, we apologize. It's my geography that was wrong. It's not Delta. It's Ambrose Ali University. You know what is happening now? With over 700 people that they cannot account, they were not admitted. They were admitted out of quota, not through caps. And you see how those people are embarrassing the university, embarrassing the nation about it from one radio station to the other. And you know that between 2017 and 2020, over 1 million candidates were admitted illegally. I stopped all of them, but you know the Honorable Minister said for the last time, we should register you, those people. That was a waiver. And that after 2020, anybody who did it, we should not allow it. So anybody who has done it after 2020, I think that person is on his own. But even the 1 million, we have just registered about 600 out of them because a large number of them do not have the basic qualification. How do you admit somebody for medicine without biology? And then you now say he will go and take it, he has now passed it. It's a prerequisite. He ought to have that credit before taking the degree. So he must go back to go and read his medicine. He cannot now bring the credit in biology after qualifying as a medical doctor. Yes, go ahead. You know what happened in the Republic of Benin. I hope we will protect ourselves from it. Uganda and Kenya Examination Board have written series of letters to us. We will not falsify record. We will tell them the truth. You also know recently we received one from UK, a top government agency in UK, asking us to confirm the date of birth of somebody. We didn't know that they had already had the facts. When we look at our record, the person said she was born in the year 1900. Apparently it was an error. But they have discovered before writing to us, and we said it's likely to be an error, but our record says 1900. So we were written back to thank us to say we want to trust your record. Because shortly after the lady was aware that the letter had been written, pressure was mounted on us to change it, to amend it. We won't do that. And that is why in JAMB now, if you say your age is this and you want to change it, if we are convinced, we will change it, but we will put an asterisk, and the footnote will be there, that the age used to be so. He changed it on so date. So, all those that the minister had us to do a waiver for, go and see their letter of admission. We put it there clearly. She was illegally admitted, but due to ministerial advice, he is now regularized. Go and look at it. Because at that year, you were not admitted. So people will know the character you are if they want to employ you. Secondary school operators, they kept on being involved. We want to tell you that some of these secondary schools, they just want to use JAMB to promote themselves. And some of them are involved in corrupt practices. And they damage the image of these students. I give you an example of this one. The school registered the candidate, they mess up their schedule, and when you send notices to them, they will hide the thing from the students. And many of them end up messing the students back. This is the case of one Sorona Center, Owerri, and you can see the letter. I had to call the school immediately because it was the school director. That's the parents telling me the story. After paying 20,000, 30,000 for what government was getting 3,500 for. The form that we sell at 3,500, you go and pay 30,000, 50,000. So who is to be extorted? Who is to be cheated if not you? Yes? All candidates, they are now claiming to have been kidnapped because they were absent. Because this year we had a case of a candidate who was kidnapped and police report was brought, and because of that we rescheduled the candidates. Now we have avalanche of reports of people saying they are kidnapped. We have stopped it. If you are kidnapped, we didn't kidnap you. So because that shows clearly that people want to abuse the system. Yeah, go ahead. You are aware of Omar case. Omar was just lucky, if she's lucky at all. But you know that our colleagues were sentenced. I give example of what happened in Odo. The one who did similar thing, she was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment and 1 year for each of the count. And this is to serve as deterrent for others. As I speak with you, for 2024, more than 30 CP, how many are of them that are in custody now? 8 now. There used to be 30. Okay, please don't release them. So, we want to thank Professor Kebukola and his judge. They continue to do yeoman's work for us. We want to thank you. That's the equal opportunity. That's the first conference. That's the ministers of education, Obaje, Rukaya, and so on at the first. And you have 250 and you want to read medicine in ABU or in Unilag. How possible? And you say the cutoff is 200. Which 200? Cutoff minimum tolerable. That is, nobody will be admitted unless he has this score. That is the minimum. It doesn't mean anybody who attains it will be taken. It's minimum tolerable. That is, we will not take it. You cannot get in unless you have that minimum. But if there are people who have higher than you, it's just like saying police want to recruit officers and they say minimum is 3rd class. And you now say, I have 3rd class, I must be taken. When there is 1st class, there is 2nd class upper, there is 2nd class lower. How would they take a 3rd class? Which cutoff? Cutoff there means that this is anybody who has passed will not be taken. It doesn't mean that 3rd class will be taken. So this is what people don't understand. You have 1 million. It's a Vice Chancellor Futa who gave a good example. Where is she? Futa BC, thank you for giving me that example. She gave an example of if you have 1 million and you go to pepper seller, you are a rich man, you can buy all your car, you can load it with 1 million. If you go to where they are selling motorcycles with 1 million, maybe you can get 1 or 1.5. But if you go to where they are selling vehicles and you say you are a millionaire, 1 million, will you be able to buy the tires? So when we talk about 2023 admission, you can see institutions that we have, 1,266 of them. Some of them are educational supermarkets. You know what that means? Like Kaduna State Polytechnic. Oh, Federal Polytechnic, what do you call it? Kaduna Polytechnic. Kaduna Poly is an educational supermarket because they offer degree, they offer HND, they offer NCE. So it's a supermarket. So you can go there and pick the one you have. We have some of them that they are educational supermarkets. So such supermarkets, you count them as 3 because they have a platform for degree, a platform for OND, and a platform for NCE. So they are ordinarily, you are supposed to be about 840. but they become 1,266 because of those who run 2 or 3 programs. Our problem is now compounded by the new policy of Federal Colleges of Education. They have become another supermarket. They will be running NCE and they will be running degree. They will be answerable to NCC for the NCE, answerable to NUC for degree. So we have to keep them at different portals. There are 1,266. Those who applied, there are 1,635,000 last year. And those who score 100 and above, out of 400, you can see them. But when you now come, you can see those who score, out of this, who score 35% and above, they are just 1.4. But when you ask for 5 O level, only 940 of them have O level, 940, 786. So out of that, we admitted, as of July, as I told you earlier, when we were holding the informal meeting, we are running 3 sessions now. Some of you are running 2021, 2022. Some are running 2022, 2023. Some are started 2023, we start it, and we add it to it. So today, by 10th July, 639 had been registered. By the time they finish, we are thinking that it will be about 700 or thereabout out of 940. So when people say 1.6 applied and JAMB admitted only 639, we are talking of qualified candidates. And the qualified candidates, they are not 1.6, they are less than, they are 940. And that 940 is even questionable. Because most of them with 140, they want to read medicine or law. So you can see. That's why we are saying they just 35%. Even if you pick 35% as pass mark, you can see it's 639, not out of 1.6, but out of 939. Go ahead. 23. Very high. Look at 280 and above. Look at 250. Now go to why they were not admitted. Some of them, no O level, they are trial candidates. They just took the exam. Even if they score 400 over 400, they have no 5 O level. Some have O level subject combination. You want to do engineering without physics. Low post-UTME screening. You go there and you score 30% in post-UTME. You go nowhere. UTME combination deficiency. You want to do engineering, but you did not do physics. You did not take physics as part of your UTME subject. Or you want to do medicine without biology as one of the 3 subjects. Absent from post-UTME screening, because some of them come with fake papers. So when they ask them to come for screening, they will try to avoid it, and they want to be a mismatch of catchment institutions. You come from Ogun, where I come from, and you now say you must go to University of Ilorin. If you go to University of Ilorin, once you are not on the merit list, you are lost. Because you are not catchment, you are not educationally disadvantaged state. So you are not part of it because you have University of Lagos there as your own catchment, where you did not go. You have Ife, you did not go there, and you want to come to Ilorin because that's not your catchment. So some of who paraded fake IJMB results, they were not approved. 2 of the recommendations from IJMB were by ABU itself. What an audacious attitude. If you want to use fake certificate, why must you go to ABU, the owner of the... You could have gone to somewhere in Abeokuta and say, I want to use it. But they applied. This is the audacity. Somebody was arrested yesterday in our office in Lagos. Director of Lagos, where are you? You can see what happened. He went to our office in Lagos. This is our office on our notice board. And he said JAMB services available. And he gave What we did was to go there, and he collected money from my staff. Where is director? He collected money from you and registered. He didn't do anything because he could not penetrate anything. Asked him to come. Of course, has he not been arrested? Director, he has been arrested. He just collected 2,500, 1,500. He pasted it on JAMB.